It's like you're paying homage to this person, and you're saying
and
thank you.
Helen is a dear friend. She's like Nikki's aunt and like Nikki's mom's sister. Like,
Yeah, I mean, not literally, but she's
not
like
literally,
an aunt
but
or
you know what I
something to
mean.
me.
Like so close.
A family friend.
Does she know that she's who this is named after? Is she aware of it? Does she go
does.
around telling people I'm Helen? Does she do?
She might. I don't know.
kidding.
She's still out there in California.
I'm Helen.
It's like so weird, but like my brother's in a band too, and like he decided to one up me, and he got a Helen tattoo.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how cool this woman
That's
is.
how much we love Helen.
That's cool.
Yeah, my mom's a little jealous, but whatever.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Level Up Cleveland. And this week we have artist Hooked Like Helen. That's right.
Hello, what's up?
Hooked Like Helen is actually a married couple.
Yes,
That's true.
Yes.
Your guys aren't just the average band that comes on the show. You guys are actually married, and you are basically the band.
We are the dynamic duo.
The dynamic duo. We have Nikki
Yep. And I'm John.
and John, and they are the Stipps,
Yes.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That's it. Well, thanks, guys, for coming on.
Yes.
Thanks
you
for
so much
having us.
I know it's a special Wednesday night episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't always do this, but you guys came out here on a Wednesday. That was really cool. Appreciate
You're
that.
like
Yeah.
VIPs for sure.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yes, thank you.
So you guys are actually doing really, really well. I must say, and looking into you guys and seeing what you guys were all about, I was shocked. You guys aren't you have a lot of success, and you're just kind of starting off, and you've already kind of like have seen some things that I don't think a lot of people see this quick into the game. However, though, we'll get into this, but I think that you guys had to have kind of foreseen that you would have some sort of success just based on how talented you guys are. I mean, like, well, I mean, I know that you want to be, you don't want to come off as arrogant or something like that, but the truth is that you guys are a little bit above the norm as far as what you guys are capable of.
Thank you. That's
Appreciate
really
that.
very
Thank you
nice.
very
of
much.
you.
I mean, I'm shocked at I mean, no offense, but the vocal stuff that I'm hearing coming out of there is it's just incredible.
Thank you.
And it's right there with like the Aguileras, and it's like right there with but I mean, like it's there with them, and as far as the production of your voice, how you're able to come. So when you have all those ingredients, and I don't know if you're the main writer, but when you have certain ingredients where success is bound to happen. It's just a matter of how bad you want it, right? I mean, it is.
I really appreciate that. That's really nice.
I really got to say, I mean, I'm shocked. I mean, like I was shocked at how good this was, and well produced. I mean, everything about it, First of all, I want to go back. I want to kind of take everybody kind of down the whole road of what you guys have done. People who are already familiar with you, they know your music and stuff like that, but they probably don't know how you got to this point.
Yeah.
You guys are local. I mean, as far as Northeast Ohio type, right?
Yep.
You guys are from Sandusky, more like toward the west.
Yeah, technically Milan, the little town.
Okay, yeah.
But Sandusky shows us a lot of love. That's where we like to play a lot and stuff.
So you guys, you guys do reside there still?
Yep.
Yeah, we call Sandusky home. Like if someone asks where we're from, we're on the road or whatever, we say Sandusky.
Yeah.
Most people know where Sandusky is because
And not
of Cedar
Milan.
Point.
It's
Sandusky is like one of the coolest places in Ohio.
Yeah, Sandusky's awesome.
You got the islands right there, and you got
Yeah.
Cedar Point, like you said, and everything
Yeah,
right
so
there.
we love Cleveland too, but we're right down the road.
You don't mind going back?
No, we don't mind.
You come in to visit.
Yep.
Yes.
So, did you guys know each other early on? You guys both, or did this happen? How does that all happen? How do you guys meet, and how does that all happen?
So what year do we go back to?
Well,
2000.
Let's go to like 2011. I think is when we met. So I grew up in LA, and he came out to LA to join a band that his friend, who had been a drummer for him back here in Cleveland, had gone out first and then asked John to join. So then John went out to California, and then I joined the band. And this was like a 7-piece classic rock kind of a thing. We were called Red Circle Underground, and we did some tours. We played the Sunset Strip and did all of that stuff. and that was like around the 2011, 12, 13, and then John and I became romantically involved after like a year of me being in the band, and then we found out that we were going to be having a baby. Oh. And so we were like, oh, okay, maybe we should move to Northeastern Ohio, back home for John, just because it's kind of a better place to raise a family, than where we were in LA. And so we moved in 2013, had our son August, and but we were like, we're not ready to just like give up on music though. You know what I mean? Like we had to say goodbye to the band, and that was sad. We had like a final show at the Viper Room and, said our farewells and stuff. And but we were like, well, we got to keep doing music. But, the scene is a little bit different out here than it is in LA. And at that time that we moved, John's uncle, who was a sound engineer up in Seattle, he passed away. And he ended up kind of like willing us his little home studio setup, which was just a Pro Tools M-Box and 2 studio monitors and Audio Technica microphone. And we did not know how to self-record. We'd been musicians, obviously, for our entire lives and played in bands and stuff, but we didn't know how to do that. But we kind of felt like, okay, it's kind of like our duty. Like this sort of was like a universe destiny kind of a thing, that this stuff landed in our laps right when we moved here. And because of the internet, you can, figure out how to do home studio stuff.
YouTube. You just YouTube it.
Literally. And then, you can send it out to try to do like the placement stuff, like the sync placement in film and TV, like from anywhere. So that's like how we got our start, I guess.
So you guys are just DIYs, all DIY.
Hardcore.
DIYs.
From the beginning.
So Are you guys recording your music still now?
Yes.
So Liar was you guys recorded Liar in your home studio, or did you guys... Really?
Yeah.
Not all of it.
That particular song gets convoluted because of all that happened with it. But like those vocals are the vocals that I tracked on that Audio Technica microphone at home. And that piano is the piano that I did at home.
Okay.
But there were strings and bass and drums.
Okay.
Yeah, and collaborations.
But this is what I was going to get into also is, so is there a producer that's helping you guys with this stuff, or are these all your ideas? So like, in other words, like the strings and all that kind of stuff, is there somebody saying, hey, let's use strings here, or are you guys, is this all your stuff?
So on Liar, we collaborated with a friend of ours named Isha, who he helped me to learn Pro Tools a lot, and he was someone who had produced our old band back in California, Red Circle Underground.
Met in.
Yes. Yeah. So he produced the basic strings on Liar. So we had just a piano, vocal, and string version of the song. And we put that out on the internet, on YouTube, with just like an iPhone video of me playing the song. And it got picked up by the director of the film. And he was like, I want to use this in the sequel to this dance movie. And so they ended up like basically writing a whole scene in the script of the movie to make sure that Liar fit into it, which was crazy and like not how it normally works.
Really? So they made the movie fit the song?
Yes, he had the soundtrack picked out and all the music done before he had written they had written the script.
Wow,
for the movie.
it is kind of
backwards, it's a dance movie, so
yeah,
the
I guess you could see
matters.
It would matter, right?
Like, yeah. But anyway, so when he reached out to us and said they wanted to use Liar, we ended up flying out to LA to Studio City Sound, which was the director is Michael Damian, and it was his brother's studio, where they had studio like session musician guys play a bunch of instruments, the drums, were Matt Logg, who like tracked the drums on Jagged Little Pill.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that guy.
Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, both those guys.
Which is one of our favorite albums, like of all time. So it was a trip.
Both those guys were literally the rhythm section for the Jagged Little Pill album.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they came in and played that on Liar.
Lance Morrison, correct?
Yes, played bass.
Yeah.
And like it was crazy because neither of those dudes had even heard the song or the demo or anything before. They just walk in and they just listen and then they just start
playing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a wild to watch some people.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
and
next level.
Liar is like not easy. There's about 1 million chords.
Yes.
So it was really crazy.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
and then the composer for the film composed like in the third chorus of that song when it all amps up and like the key change happens. That's like live orchestra.
Oh, no kidding.
Everything prior to that Isha had done is just like.
Before you caught fire.
Out of New York City. So we're talking Milan, Ohio.
Yeah.
We're talking Los Angeles, California.
California, where Ish is at.
Well, no.
And then
up north where Ish is at.
Oh yeah, he's in Northern California.
And then we're talking New York City.
So you're just sending this. You're just sending files everywhere,
Yeah.
and just,
Yep.
everyone's
Yes.
just adding and sending them, and
turning
that's it.
into all kinds of.
It's wild, man.
Yeah. So I think 4 different physical places like geography.
Yeah.
Wise for Liar.
Wild. So you're born in L.A.
Yes.
and you're raised in L.A. And what? How old are you when you leave L.A. Then? What would be how many years do you stay there?
So when we left, I was 27.
Oh, so you were 27 years.
Yeah,
So
well, a little break.
Oh, you had-
I moved to Seattle for a couple years, but.
So how do you learn how to? You're a piano player,
Yes.
and you're a good piano player. I mean, you're playing. Well, you are. I mean, you're. I look at
she's better than she's
I'm
giving herself
not-
credit for.
Yeah,
I'm not Elton John.
No. I'm not saying. Well, I mean, I don't know that, but I'm just saying anybody that can play piano fluidly and then sing.
Okay, yeah, that's.
To me, I think that's pretty good. You know what I mean? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So how do you learn? How does piano come up? And how does like L.A. Like L.A.'s being raised in L.A. It's got to be a little different than people in Cleveland are used to. It's like 5 times bigger than Cleveland, if not bigger.
Big.
And then Pat spent some time in L.A.
Oh, nice.
I think he spent like 5 years there. So I've heard a lot of stories.
Yeah.
But not, you being from square one in L.A., it's a different place, right? I mean, it's a whole different everything. So is you're learning music, is there like an L.A. thing going on when you're learning music versus like, do you feel like I'm here already type thing? I need to learn something like this. So because I'm in L.A., or was it just you just love music, or did mom make you learn the piano?
Okay, so mom did not make me learn
Okay.
the piano. It was music, period. It was music no matter what. Because in LA, I had friends that had agents. I had kids that went to my school that would leave school to go be in movies. It was like everybody was trying to be an actor or just be in entertainment. And like for me, I was very I was a purist about I don't want to just be famous. Like I'm a musician.
She's very
songs in my
Kurt
head.
Cobain about it.
Yeah, sometimes to my detriment, a little moody or angsty or whatever. But like songs in my head since I was 5 years old. So it's just I'm going to be a musician no matter what. As I got older, I learned to appreciate that there were opportunities in Los Angeles that are not in other parts of the country. So
Yeah.
I tried to take advantage of those. But it's just something I do.
So you said you guys were in a classic rock type of a thing, like a rock, but rock,
Yeah.
right? And what you do now, I wouldn't classify it necessarily as rock. It's more of a, it's a poppy thing. It's what's going on. It's popular music. It's going to go well and reach a lot of people, but it's a little darker, right? I mean, would that be fair to say? It's a little darkness to it. That's it's a very emotional music. Let's just say it like that. It's like the Pink Floyd of pop. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
Yeah.
very emotional. Very, I don't know how else to put it.
Can we quote you on that?
Sure, you can use it.
sometime?
You can
Yeah, we like that.
I like that.
We hand them out.
That was
hand
good.
them out like
All
that.
right, that was good.
No, really, I that's how I could just say it. It's like, the thing about it though that's interesting to me, and I don't know how to ask this without just asking it. So, but it does seem, and I know you've heard this before. It does seem to go over into kind of a sadder, depressing. I don't know. That's not necessarily the word you want to use. But I know there's people that are going to say it. It has a sadness to it.
Yeah.
Not all of it, not all the time, but you get that.
You're correct.
And so, how do you write stuff like that? You don't from the moment I just met you. There's nothing sad that comes off about you whatsoever. You're a happy, bubbly, great personality. You're a cool dude. I mean, you guys are. You would think it takes sad people to write sad music. I'm not getting that vibe at all. So, how do you come up with some of this stuff? I mean, do you guys have to break up and then get back together and just keep doing this to get inspired?
We may as well.
How do you guys get inspired to write this kind of music?
So I actually am very sad. I'm a very sad person.
I mean,
inside.
you sell that. I mean, you're very good on the video for Liar. Man, I mean, did you take acting classes?
No,
okay,
I did not.
Okay,
that was
because-
autobiographical. That was real.
Yeah, you really. I mean, it's very. You sell it. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's very emotional. So, and I'm wondering, this is the one question I wanted to ask you guys for sure. The music that you guys write, the places that some of this stuff has to come from. And not only that, but it's not, like heavy metal has melodies intertwined with riffs, right? This is just melodies intertwined with more melodies, intertwined with more melodies, intertwined with more melodies. Yeah. That's what you guys do. I mean, that's what it is. It's just constant melodies all over the place, and somehow you got to make all this work, and it's got to be hooky, right?
Right.
It's got to have a hook. The name's perfect. But it's got to have a hook, too. It's got to sound good. You guys have all that going on. So how do you do that? Where's it come from? And who's really in charge of coming up with the ideas, really? I mean, who does that?
She writes from a very say it.
Autobiographical?
True to,
Thank you. Place.
Autobiographical.
So
Autobiographical.
Liar, I hope you're okay with me saying it. Like Liar is a completely true story of her life.
Just something in my past.
Well before we ever met.
Good
It's
for
not about
you.
him.
Yeah, good for you. Thank God.
He's very honest.
I'm not the liar.
He's not the liar.
Nor have I ever met the liar. Nor do I ever want to.
So it's a true story, basically, from the past.
So it's like it's not a stretch. I'm not having to sell it. It's just it is what it is. But I think to answer what you're saying about like with metal and riffs and stuff, because I've been such a sad introvert and shy and weirdo growing up, like I didn't do a lot of collaborating until later. So I was writing everything by myself. So it's just my voice and a piano that I'm not that good at. I didn't take lessons. So it's like there's only so much I can do with the piano. I'm not Tori Amos. I'm not going to be riffing on that. So it became like 100% about the melody, you know what I mean? And about having it, like, I've never really thought about it the way until you asked that question of just like, it's not going to be an instrumental riff. It's going to be another vocal riff. It's going to be another vocal line. It's going to be, to the point where actually when we play live, sometimes it's hard to keep my breath because there's never like any place to stop.
Yeah, right.
You've always said the way you write too is melody first. Like that's the first thing you come up with is melody.
Yeah.
So do you find that you come up with the vocal melody first, and you know how the vocal melody goes, and so then you write the music to kind of like comfort the vocal, and then, or do you find that you write a melody and then you could put the vocal on top of that, or does it matter? Do you come up with your own whatever, however it comes?
It's different sometimes. Like sometimes it'll just be like a melody line that comes to me like while I'm folding laundry or something like that, and I'll just run downstairs and be like, okay, I gotta like get a chord progression for this. But I feel like most of the time, and the times when I feel like our songs are most like, engaging with other people is when I'm writing the melody and the chord progression like kind of at the same time. I'm like messing around and tweaking until it just hits that spot where you're like, that's it. You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
That feels right. So that's part of why it's sometimes hard for me to collaborate is like trying to write a melody over somebody else's stuff where I'm trapped in their chord progression is like.
You're not comfortable with that person yet or whatever.
Yeah.
There's time that's going to take or whatever. Just you're so used to you.
Yeah. But we have had a lot of success, I feel, recently collaborating with some people, which we can get into. But
well, do you now when you're fleshing out the beginning, when you get your ideas and you're doing all that, do you do that by yourself and then present it to him, or because you guys are in the same house together and everything, are you like, hey, I got this idea, check it out, I'm right here, I'm not done yet, but how do the conversations go, or is it just like, get away, I'm not done yet, I'll let you know when it's done type thing? How does that work?
So I think it's beautiful. I hope it's not annoying to you how it works.
No, go ahead.
Like I'm downstairs and he's upstairs, and then he'll just be like, that was cool. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, okay, but I don't need him there like, totally micromanaging it, because then I'll just start feeling, like self-conscious or whatever. But like as I'm going, and he'll just be like, that was cool. Or what was that one thing you did?
When she strikes something really good, or like, I hate to say the word magical, but like, it just
no, I get it.
Like I'm like, oh, like shit, like that sounds like this could really be something. Then she's right. I pretty much just call it out.
And then sometimes, like if I'm playing the same thing for a while and he's not up there saying anything, I'm like, oh, it's probably not that good.
I better go somewhere else. Yeah,
change it.
Now, what are you listening to? Like, what do you guys? Are you both listening? When you meet, do you guys find that you like the same artists, or are you guys different that way, or how does that work?
I mean, we do like the same artists at the end of the day, but she was way more pop heavy in what she would listen to, and I was way more rock heavy in what I would listen to.
Yeah.
But I think there's like a mutual respect, because the pop artists that she likes, she's like Prince and Michael Jackson, and just people that you can't deny. It's like,
yeah, right. The best.
Sorry,
the best of the pop artists.
Yeah. And, you know, I feel like my taste in rock was always like pretty good. I'm a
Real melodic
90s
stuff.
guy. Like all the punk rock stuff, Seattle grunge stuff, Metallica stuff from back in the day. And,
Yeah.
You know, all the
Yeah, hard rock edge.
Nirvana, all the
Which
good
I
all the
also
good
love
shit.
that stuff though too.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. So there's like a mutual respect for each genre.
I feel like all the influences kind of come together a little bit on our.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You guys pick it up a little here and there. You can hear all kinds of different things going on. That's one of the things that's kind of what I'm talking about, I guess, is that I hear so much different melody going on. It's so much of it. You know, I just think some people have a hard time coming up with one decent melody for a song. Just to come up with one that someone can hum. It's all over the place.
Sometimes it's overdone too.
You think so?
Well, yeah.
For your own taste? Is
Yeah.
that how you look at
Well,
it?
for us, sometimes, I mean, we get so into layering things that I think we have overdone it before.
Yeah.
You know, just to be honest. And
it can happen.
Well, do you guys, is that what you do? And I mean, there's a lot going on in these songs. You know what I mean? They're simple. And there's also a lot of nice spaces in there, too. I think this kind of music, you have to know where the spaces have to go and then where the notes have to
Right.
go,
You
right?
gotta have some
because, you got to have some moments there or it's not sad.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, that's just too much.
Too much going on to be sad.
We need to be sad.
It's not sad enough. But yeah, so when some people have a hard time coming up with one melody, but coming up with so many of them, and that's why I'm asking, like, who are you listening to? Where are you coming up with some of these ideas from? Where are you pulling from? I mean, are these things just like a beam being shot into your head at all times, and these ideas just constantly
She
coming
has a
up?
crazy brain, dude.
Yeah.
It's Nikki 100%, and her brain is out of control.
He's like, trust me.
So go ahead. But that's how I see it.
I mean, I guess that's the answer. I don't know.
I mean, no, but I guess what I'm asking you is like, are you just find yourself it's always going on, and are you the kind of person that pulls the phone out and sings a melody into the phone because you don't want to forget it, that kind of stuff too? Do you have a lot of notes, all that for lyrics, that kind of thing? I mean, are you just
Yes.
anal about this whole thing? Like you have everything covered basically. You figured it all out.
I mean, figured it all out, no. But doing those two things that you just said, yes, I do. I kind of go like in cycles, like being independent musicians, there's so many hats you have to wear and so many different things you have to do. Like if I'm focusing on promotion for a single or visuals for this thing or, booking things like getting to come and see you guys or booking shows or whatever, like I'm very hyper focused. And then when I finally get a second to be like back to the music, it's like my brain realizes that switch. And then it's like, okay, now I had like 3 or 4 ideas today.
Oh, really?
You know
So
what I
you
mean?
can do that?
I mean, I don't
That's
know if that's
awesome.
healthy because it's very like
I don't know, but that's
hyper-focused.
cool.
I mean, it's like so far I feel like because it's just like, man, I haven't had like a new song idea in a while. Like I hope it's not like writer's block or something. It was like, no, it's because I've been super focused on like that show that was coming up and we had to like get the set ready or whatever. And then as soon as I get like a break to breathe, then it all comes flowing, which is like helpful. And like with some of the stuff we've done for, TV, there's like a lot of really tight deadlines, which I also work really well with. It's like when my brain knows like you have to get this done, you have to come up with this stuff, it just starts working like in my subconscious
Sweet.
or something.
That's cool.
So for now it's working.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break.
Cool.
Cool.
And when we come back, we'll talk with Hooked Like Helen, John, Nikki, in a few
Yeah.
minutes.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Tyrone, and I'm here with Steve at Steve's Back Road Bar and Grill. And this, I used to play here. He just took this over like what?
Labor Day.
Labor Day. Okay, so you've definitely made some improvements. I see that since the last time I was here. And what's your special with you, man?
The specials.
Yeah.
We got a menu there with them all listed for the daily. Nope, I mean, never mind.
But yeah,
Yeah, we do burgers on Monday. We discount burgers. Taco Tuesday.
awesome.
Wings on Wednesday. We do 75-cent dine-in wings on Wednesday.
Do you have a happy hour or anything like that?
Yeah, 1 to 5, Monday through Friday, happy hour.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes.
And Thursday we do gyros for $5.
Awesome.
Friday we have the steak and shrimp
Yeah, I saw that.
dinners.
That's gonna be hard for me to hit. I might have to run in early and grab one and take it home with me. Yeah.
Saturday we try to do live entertainment, things like that. when we
Actually,
can.
we're gonna be here.
Yes, you are.
And
You're gonna be here on Friday, though. I thought.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm gonna be here. I'm happy with that. And I understand you have a venue, a little bit of a venue out back.
Yeah, in the summer,
plan on
the
doing
pavilion and everything. And Sundays, there's going to be a soup of the week every Sunday, and it's going to be Super Sunday. And this week's going to be a ham and bean soup.
Oh man! Oh, I have to come check that out.
That sounds good.
Well, I appreciate your interview with us, and
I appreciate you stopping by and seeing
This will be advertised on what is it? Level Up Cleveland and our little show, Ty and Jen's Mom and Pop Stop.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
Ira.
You have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye.
Hi, this is DJ Terry from the Homegrown Hit Show. If you're looking for something to do this week, on Monday night, December 19th, check out comedian Michael Copenhaver at Knacker Jackson Warren. Or on Thursday, December 22nd, check out the Fiddle Revolt at the Rialto Theater in Akron. But whatever you do, keep rocking with us on the Homegrown Hit Show at 216 The Beat.
And we're back, everybody, with John and Nikki of Hooked Like Helen.
Hi.
And we kind of went over Nikki's past a little bit and kind of up to date. I kind of want to talk about John a little bit.
Cool.
But before I do,
I'm not as interesting. But
I just want to know how you guys come up with the name Hooked Like Helen. Who's Helen? How do you guys come up with that?
Okay, so Helen is actually a friend of Nikki's, so this would kind of be a question for her. But
Okay.
She's basically the reason that we know each other.
Oh.
And the reason that Nikki ended up in the band that I was in, and the whole reason that we have Hooked Like Helen, and the whole reason our son exists, and all this crazy stuff.
Oh my God, this one person is very responsible for a lot of things.
If you think about it in that kind of way, yes.
Yeah. The butterfly effect thing.
So this is like homage to
Yeah.
this person. This
Yeah.
is like you're paying homage to this person, and you're saying
and
thank you.
Helen is a dear friend. She's like Nikki's aunt and like Nikki's mom's sister. Like,
Yeah, I mean, not literally, but she's
not
like
literally,
an aunt or
but you know what I
something to
mean.
me.
Like so close.
A
to
family
they're
friend.
Does she know that she's who this is named after? Is she aware of it? Does she
She
go
does.
around telling people I'm Helen? Does she do?
She might.
I'm
I don't
just
know.
kidding.
She's still out there in
I'm
California.
Helen. I'm Helen.
It's like so weird, but like my brother's in a band too, and like he decided to one up me, and he got a Helen tattoo.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how cool this woman
That's
is.
how much we love Helen.
that's cool.
Yeah, my mom's a little jealous, but whatever. But the Hooked Like Helen
Y'all
part
have to
is-
meet Helen, man.
Yeah, you do need to meet Helen.
We'll get her on the show.
Yeah, we'll bring her
That'd
on.
be awesome. Yeah, she has ties in Ohio actually, so she might come out here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but the Hooked Like Helen part is when I got pregnant. I had to quit all of the things, and the hardest thing to quit actually was Diet Coke. And Helen, at the time, was very, very hooked on Diet Coke, and I'm like, well, at least I'm not hooked like Helen. And then we were like, band name, and we had a whole list of band names at the time, and that one was the best one.
It's a good name. It's a good name.
It
Thank
meant
you.
the most to us, so
Yeah.
thanks.
I had to find out. It's because there's no Helen here, so right away you're like, all right, who's Helen?
Well, a lot of
Right.
people call Nikki Helen.
Yeah, and
when
that's
we walk
cool.
in.
Well, yeah, well that's the note. It's like Pink Floyd. They used
Yeah.
to say which one's pink.
Yeah.
So, John,
Yes,
I wanted to ask you now.
Sure.
Your start. How do you get started in music? How do you begin this whole?
So being brought up, I guess here, I'm not from LA. I'm from a small town about an hour west of Cleveland called Berlin Heights, like a one stoplight type.
You pass it on the
type
way to
deal.
Cedar Point.
Yeah.
You always
So-
see the sign, the Berlin
Yep.
Heights sign. You
Yep,
always
Berlin
pass
Heights.
it. Yeah.
Yep, 61. You're correct. So I was brought up there, and my dad was really into rock music. So growing up, he was always listening to like Guns N' Roses and Led Zeppelin, like big broad range of all the rock stuff. So I grew up just loving rock, and I got really into a bunch of punk bands, and had a high school band that did decent. We played Peabody's in Cleveland, did all the Battle of the Bands and all the stuff up here. And then kind of all went our separate ways. And then I ended up going to culinary school just because I needed a break from the music and I just needed to kind of get my shit together, figure out what I'm.
Yeah, you're thinking, well, music's fun, but it's not going to pay the bills.
Yeah, and the band's all kind of losing their shit, and everyone's getting, you know what I mean? We're all just need to kind of separate.
Sure.
So I do that. I go, I get done, I graduate, and the place to go after you've been through culinary school is California, either California or Vegas. Those are the two most sought after places. So, literally, pretty much I'm just Googling cool places to go move and get a culinary job with a culinary degree. Hermosa Beach is one of these places, and that's near Los Angeles. And I had other places on the list that I would really love to have gone. But something called me out to Hermosa. I had a friend from that was in the band that I spoke of, the high school band, that had moved out to LA a couple years prior to that.
Oh, okay.
So he was already there. And
so you kind of had a guide in place at this point?
I kind of had a guide. I didn't know that they were going to let me in the band. You know what I mean? I didn't go out there knowing that I had a slot. But I did go out there, and lo and behold, their bass player and them, they weren't getting along. I'm not exactly sure what the deal was, but they gave me a shot, so I tried out. Got in the band, which made my time moving to LA a whole lot easier, kind of like you were saying, like a guide, because it was a band full of good people who were LA natives and who could like really kind of take care of me, show me around what to do, what not to do type deal.
Yeah, right.
So I got shown LA by some great people. Fit right into Hermosa Beach. That was really great. Got in the band, and then within about a year and a half of being in the band, I think Seth, the singer, was the one who, kind of decided like it would be a good idea to get a keyboard player. And because of Helen, who we spoke of, right, somehow Seth was connected to Helen, which is why Nikki got connected to Red Circle Underground. And then the story kind of goes from there about us being in the band together and then becoming romantically involved.
Is that the way I put it?
Yeah. And
was it frowned on right away, or did by the other members, or did everyone just accept it, or did they all just expect it? Type was like, we all saw it coming.
I think they all saw it coming. Like, I think it was like an overtime thing.
Yeah.
We were like the two youngest and the two like hardest partying at that point.
Yeah, they all had it
we
together.
stayed out the latest.
I got you.
Yeah, they all had it a little more together. They all, had significant others with like real good jobs and shit. Like, they were comfortable, we were a little less comfortable.
Yeah, we didn't have plan Bs or whatever.
Yeah,
you were taking a ride at this point. This is like a ride. You guys
like, let's really try hard, guys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not really trying hard enough. What do you mean? I'm just, I know, try harder.
Yeah.
So now what is your job in the band basically now? I mean, we've already established she comes up with a lot of the ideas. She kind of like goes, and then where do you come in? Where does it go from there?
Honestly, where I come in is more along the lines of like the live stuff and keeping the house together. And like, honestly, like I do a lot of stuff that like a lot of people, think that just like the woman does or whatever at the house. Like I'm with our son a lot. I do the dishes a lot. I do the laundry a lot. Like all that type of shit that needs done, I handle a lot of that. And as far as like my part in the writing goes, it's pretty minimal. And, I support the ideas that I like and tell her the ones I don't like. And most of the time she listens to me, which I think is cool.
You're my muse.
Yeah. But, the bass parts, most of them have been written on her keyboard. Some of them have been written by another producer. And I can play them because I grew up playing guitar and I took lessons. And, like if you show me something or you want me to play something, like I can play it.
I got you.
He's got really good rhythm too.
Yeah. And like, my absolute love in life, the thing I love doing more than anything is playing live on stage. So like, I feel like I'm an asset live. And then, I drive.
I literally don't even remember how to drive.
I drive.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. So
My credentials, check it off. Driver.
yeah. So I drive a lot. And
So
then
you make sure that this one can keep doing what she's doing. Is what you're
I-
basically do.
basically that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, you just make
Yeah.
sure that her time is free and clear when she needs it to be,
Yeah.
and so that this can all happen.
Which can be hard at times, but is what needs to happen because I know that she's like she flows, man, with songs.
She's onto something here.
Yeah, I've been around a lot of musicians, a lot of songwriters, a lot of all that shit. You know, that's all I've ever immersed myself in since middle school is music, the music crowd, and all that. And she's unlike anyone that I've ever met when it comes to writing or playing or even performing. Like, she's a natural writer and a natural producer and all that stuff. But the crazy thing is she's also no shit a natural performer too.
Thank you.
I've seen. I haven't seen live, but I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
videos and stuff that you have out and stuff. And yeah, both of you are.
Thank you.
He's
You,
a rock
well,
star.
you
He's a
both
rock
have
star.
to be. There's only two of you up there, so you got to cover like 3 to 4
We gotta
people.
Go hard.
We
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We gotta go hard.
Yeah, we try and move around the whole stage and, you know, act like we're playing to, you know, an arena no matter what. If there's 2
Yeah.
people there, or, you know, 2,000 people there, we're going to give them the same show.
So there's just the two of you usually, and there's backing tracks and everything. So it sounds like a full band,
Yep.
but it's just the two of you guys performing. You're usually playing the bass and or do you play guitar too? Up
I switch back and forth
Both, right?
in the set between bass and guitar depending on the song and the vibe and where we are and what we're doing.
yeah, and you're basically playing the piano and singing, or sometimes do you always play the piano for every song? Sometimes you're not, right? Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
So, do you have you ever been part of a writing process in a band where you were a part of were you a writer before? Did you write songs and stuff?
In my high school band, we all wrote the songs together, and we did it the way that rock bands do, you know, where someone comes up with the riff, could be me, could be the other guy or the other 2 guys, and then we just go from there. We go in the room and, you know, kind of just jam until we have a song. Like, you know, just 8 hours of being in the room together and jamming, and all of a sudden you have a rock song. You
Yeah,
have it.
from nothing.
From nothing, yeah.
To now that exists.
That does happen, and I've been a part of that process in the past 2 bands before Nikki and I started Hook Like Helen. But with Hook Like Helen, it's different because she's such a driving songwriter. You know, it's less about having a bunch of people in the room feeding off of each other and like.
You don't need that. You have this power in the middle here that
Yeah.
just does it all.
She just like should just do it. You know what I mean? And every now and then I'll interject if I feel like not interject, but I'll give her my
He
opinion.
influences for sure.
Yeah, if I tell her I think she's going down the wrong path, or I think it's not, you know, vibing or whatever.
This is better than that, or what do you think about this?
Yeah, but I mean that's pretty much the extent of it.
That's probably really awesome to have that though, because I think like you tend to fall so in love with your own stuff as you're writing things, and you're almost like oblivious to, like, you just fall in love with it. You're like, oh, this is great, and then someone else hears it and they're like, eh.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to get in your own head that your stuff isn't always like, you know, what do you mean? This is great. You know,
Yeah.
It's not always. So
Right.
yeah, to have somebody that kind of like, because you save a lot of time too, probably through that process right there, you know, where you're not getting too far into something and then having to redo the whole thing. It's like,
Totally. And then a lot of times she'll be coming up with something cool, and maybe it's a vocal melody or something on the piano, and then, you know, we'll say, well, what if that was this? What if that was something else? And we did this with that, you know what I mean? And just kind of switched up a few of the ideas, like rearranged them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I can help with structure a lot, stuff like that. You know, when it comes to the lyrical content, the melodies, and all that stuff, it just flows through Nikki.
do you come up with stuff ever though? Like through just day-to-day stuff? Or does the riffs pop into your head, and do you ever just want to go and just do this still? I mean, like,
yeah,
you miss
like,
it?
Yeah, I do. You know what I mean? I miss the rock band thing and just picking up a guitar and playing the riffs and being loud and doing all that stuff. I really do. But this approach that we've taken, it's much more mathematical, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Formulaic kind of.
formulated, and we've really like honed in our formula, especially with recording too, which kind of goes hand in hand with writing because of how we started. It's like we were writing, but we were also always recording. And we've gotten our formula down so well to where it's kind of like just stick to the formula and it's working. So let's just keep doing it. You know what I mean? I don't need to like force myself in there with my rock guitars because I know she's so, pop driven. Like we've been going in a rock direction lately, which makes me really happy. So I'm actually becoming more comfortable in the band. Like when we first started, we were like super, super poppy. And like I was playing all these riffs that she's hearing in her head that like I've never played before. I play Metallica, I play Nirvana,
I hear you. I hear what you're saying. No, I hear what you're saying. Totally different. It's a totally different thing that you guys are doing versus a rock.
Yeah, and she, is coming up with these really wonderful piano arrangements and melodies and stuff, and she wants to hear Prince guitar. And I'm like, come on, I don't know Prince guitar, but then she does it. She does it on her keyboard and like tells me the rhythm.
Oh, you mouth the rhythms and stuff to them and stuff.
Yeah, like
this is what I want.
Yeah, for real.
That's cool.
For real. Like I want to hear this over that, and I'm like, okay, shit. And it takes it takes me a while. I won't lie. I'm no like Nashville virtuoso dude, but if I practice, I can do it.
Right.
So I'll swallow any pride I have left and just do.
You sound like a monster.
No, he's not.
And just do what the hell she's trying to get out of herself. You know what I mean? And 99.9.
And he does it. He does it.
99.9% of the time, it's really good, and it's something that I would have never come up with.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the thing.
So it makes me better. Like I've become a lot better of a player since this band than I had been, because I peaked in the other ones. I never pushed myself out of my comfort zone.
Right. This takes you way out of a box. So it forces you to do things you're not comfortable with.
Which is what she has done and why this has worked for so long. I think it's not easy for
a lot of trust here. I mean, and it probably helps that you're married in that point.
Yeah.
To that extent,
yes.
the trust is just built in already, and so therefore, because marriage is a give and take already, you're to make it work. Plus, this is a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about next, which is the mom and dad thing. Also, I mean, like some people talk about being a mom and dad as just enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's a lot.
That's enough by itself.
Oh man.
So you guys are the mom and dad, and you guys are writing a lot of music, and I'm assuming this isn't like these aren't quick songs to write. There's a lot of arrangement, a lot of layers, a lot of things that are going on here. So each song has got a whole lot of thought and time put into it. And then you guys are also playing out and going, out of state. And you guys are just not like you're playing a local bar. You guys are leaving town to go play gigs. How do you do all that? How do you manage all this? How do you keep this all? How do you do it?
So
support system.
Yes, the support system. John's parents, Mike and Beth Stipp. Shout out to you guys.
They're watching Augie.
They're watching Augie right now. Not only are they so supportive, like of our dream and our rock star bullshit, but they have such a great relationship with Augie, and it's just amazing that he feels so comfortable with them. Like, when we do have to go out of town, because we've been doing a lot of stuff in Nashville, which we can get to, it's like at a week at a time sometimes, and he's got a room upstairs all of his own there with, his own like Cleveland Browns bed and everything.
The whole theme.
Yes. He goes to school where where Beth teaches, so they can go in together and
she's a teacher.
Together. Yes, she's a teacher.
Which is great because like this is kind of the reason we left California. You know what I mean? So we're getting to utilize it, like Augie.
Small town and the support system.
And to be able to do that and to have my parents here, who are able to, because they're just teachers in Berlin Heights or whatever my mom is, it just.
And this also takes incredible time management, I suppose, too, where you guys have to like schedule everything you do, right? I mean, everything's got to be scheduled and stay on task type thing.
She big on that.
Yeah, because, we want to make sure that Augie is getting everything from us that he needs, because he's number one, and making sure that we get him to all the different sporting events and the Cub Scouts and whatever it is, and also then not miss the other things that we're
right. You can't. You got to make him number one without this suffering.
Right.
That's the hardest thing about it. Like you got to maintain this, just like he's like if he didn't exist.
Yeah.
But while he exists and getting everything he needs.
Right.
It's got. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be insane.
It's crazy. And the beauty of it is, at least right now, I mean, he's 9 years old. He really believes in us and loves that we do this and thinks it's cool.
That's
You know
good. I was
what
going to
mean?
ask that. Yeah, does he know what's going on as far as like does he understand like that this is like
He does.
you guys are doing pretty good here too. It's not like you guys are just chasing some bizarro dream because to a lot of people that's what it kind of is in a way, but
Right.
you guys have seen success in what you've done and that's probably
Thank
part
you.
of what drives you also is when you see that wow, what I'm doing is
Right, like, well, that's
resonating
kinda
with people.
resonating,
Yeah. And it's like then you're ready to write that next song. Like, do you find that that's also how you are as far as like you don't ever rest on your laurels as far as what you've just written. You're already looking to the next thing type
Totally.
thing. Is that how that
100%.
works
Right,
for you?
yes, which is weird because we have a lot of unreleased music right now.
Oh, do you have a lot of like half written songs too? Like stuff like where you're like working on it,
Yes.
and then you're working on it, and now you have like
We do.
10 projects going.
yeah,
and
that
you
are floating around and
so do you just go back to that every once in a while? Do you just sit down and be like, you know what, I feel like working on this one, or does it pop into your head one day and you're like, you know what, I think I'm gonna. How does that usually happen for you?
I
All
mean,
that stuff.
right. It's weird because normally it's not stuff that's floating around because, like I said, I'm very like meticulous in it. So I'm
focused,
like,
yeah.
bam, bam, bam. But because of everything we're doing with the collaborating in Nashville, we're having to like rely on other people who are really busy and on tours or finishing up an album for a major label or whatever it is. And so we're like having to kind of just have these different songs in limbo in different stages.
I
and
got
like
you.
that's like really hard for me.
So you guys got to get up and leave and come back at some other time because this takes precedence.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Nashville a little bit. What is going on there? How is that? What do you got going on there? We actually had you booked. We actually had you booked before,
Yeah.
and then we had to cancel because you guys had to shoot out to Nashville, which is fine. I mean, it's no big deal.
To be
But
honest, I can't even remember which time it was that happened. Because
so you just
we've
got to
been
get
going
up.
back-
So is that what's going on? You got to get up and just go because of the time frame. People, they got these little small windows, and you got to be there for that. Is that basically what it is?
Basically.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
So we have management in Nashville, which has really been like a game changer for us. It's been about a year. And basically it means like getting to kind of get into like the industry because like we've been doing music business stuff, but like the industry out there in Nashville is actually kind of small and like not something that we didn't have a way of networking with all of that. So like we're down there meeting different producers and songwriters and stuff and collaborating with people and you know like we're it's like I can't talk about everything that's going on, but we just had like a showcase at the Electric Jane that like
With a full
band
with
that
a drummer and a
rocked.
guitar player.
and was so fun and was the most fun that we've had on stage thus far, if that's okay to
So
say.
can I ask you a question real quick?
Yes.
So now that you just said that,
Yeah.
have you guys had the talk now where you guys are like, do we want to get a guitar player and a drummer? Or like, do we want to go that route? I mean, the one thing I do like about what you guys are doing is for money, it's great.
Yo, totally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Totally.
for the money part of it, it's great. You know, you're two people in the same family, same household, everything about it. It's beautiful.
Right.
But
Yes.
so was that what you're kind of like that changed your mind a little bit? You had so much fun doing that. You're like, you know what?
Yes. And like because of like the team that we're working with and like their advice and expertise and like on what, you know, kind of the direction that the industry is going in, et cetera, we're definitely going in a much more rock direction. Like the new unreleased stuff is like quite a bit heavier, which is fun and different. And but the full band kind of is like a necessity
In play.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So, you know,
It's just something. Now, will you guys pick the members, or will you guys go out and like audition people? Is that what you're gonna do?
We'll pick them.
Right.
Do you know, or do you already have people in mind without saying their names? Are you like, you know, I kind of already know what we're gonna do with this?
we know who we've played that last show with. We can totally say their names. They rocked. Andrew Webb on drums and Ben Glass on guitar. We had 2 rehearsals with them. We had given them the material like a month in advance just to listen to. And then we had 2 rehearsals with them like the 2 days before the showcase, this industry showcase. And they just ripped. They were just freaking awesome. So good, you know, and like,
Are they session players though? Is that what they do?
That's what they do.
That's the thing. They go on tours with people. They do session stuff, whatever. But like just kind of depending on like what ends up happening, with us, you know, we would love to have those guys, but it will
they're
be up
busy
to us.
though. They're Nashville
Right.
session guys. So like, it'd have to be a good gig. You know what I mean? To get that.
Well, it's just a lot of those guys are just so busy. I mean,
Yeah,
that's like
right.
they have no time for bands.
And
And everyone asks them to be in their band. I mean, I hate to say like that's what's going on with a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah, no,
Right.
that's totally true. And I think that we'll probably have a lot of different members, a lot of different people that we
People
kind of hire on that just
that
learn
know
our
our
stuff and
material
tour
and-
with us.
Kind of a rotating a group. Have like 6 people that you can pull from and just kind of
Yeah.
rotate it
Yep.
out in and out. And
Yeah.
Until we really, really hit it off with somebody and become really great friends.
they want to be in the band as bad as you want them in the band type thing.
Exactly.
So it's like
Yep.
it's a mutual thing.
When that happens, I could see another permanent member, but I think
Yeah, we're open to that for sure. And we also would like to find some people who are from the Cleveland area who would like to play with us.
There's a lot of great musicians in the Cleveland
figure
area.
you
They've
guys
been on
probably-
here. They've been on here, almost all of them. Not yet. No.
it'd be nice not to have to go to Nashville for a rehearsal.
Right.
Yeah, oh yeah, I can understand that. So let's talk about the music a little bit because we've talked about pretty much everything else about you guys, and we've touched on the music a little bit. But that's really what you're here about. That's what you do.
Yep.
Yes.
So you guys did you first put out a single before the EP, or Liar was a single, but it's also on the EP, correct? It's a part of it.
Correct.
So
Yes.
did you release Liar first, or did you release the EP and then Liar was on the EP? Because it's like its own thing, right? I mean, Liar is kind of taking on its own.
Yeah, because it's also on the soundtrack for the movie.
Right. So like there was some like, what we were and weren't allowed to do kind of stuff. We had released that demo, basically the piano vocal version first, and then when it became involved in the movie, we had to unrelease that. So
Really?
we still have it on YouTube. You can still see that, but you can't find it any
All the little
streaming.
stuff nobody knows about this kind of stuff that goes on and all this things.
Right.
Oh, you got to take that off now. We need to have a new premiere.
Yeah, things disappear. So we were not allowed to premiere Liar ourselves because the soundtrack and their whole promo team with the movie was going to do it and their label and stuff. So we premiered our own the other singles off of the Tragedy of Physics EP, but not Liar. But then Liar basically premiered with the music video on the Radio Disney Twitter on October 9th of 2019. And so that happened, and then the movie came out, I think, like the following month or something, or no, like couple days after that. I don't know. It's all a blur.
Yeah, time frames.
Yeah, ooh, crazy. It feels like 1,000 years ago, actually. So yeah, so it was a single, but it wasn't our single, but it is our single.
I understand.
Yeah.
You it's yours, but you didn't own it there for a little while. Somebody else told you what you could do with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how that works.
Yeah, and you just go with it.
You have no choice, really.
Yeah,
I mean, well, if your goal is to make something of all this, you got to
Right.
kind of play the game that's being played.
Yeah.
Let me ask you that too. Like, this isn't the same world we lived in 25 years ago where you can make a lot of money in music. There's different avenues of the way you make money and stuff like that, and it's not just definitely off of recording music and selling your songs. It's not like it used to be where you sold an album and your tour promoted the selling of your album because you could make millions of dollars if your album takes off. Now your album pretty much provides music so you can go out and play and make money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gigging, basically, touring and stuff like that. Is that what you guys are in the middle of doing right now with the whole Nashville thing too? Or are you kind of like preparing for the next phase of everything where you guys are going to be going out on tours, probably signing up with other bands and stuff in the beginning, probably opening up, going on some national tours? Is that kind of the plan here?
It's exactly what we're doing.
That is literally the plan.
We've been working on that behind the scenes for almost a full year.
Yes. So
A
we've
lot
got
going on, huh?
a
Lot
whole bunch
into
of
it.
music and talking to booking agents and talking to.
What about meeting other bands? Does that help you at all? I mean, like, have you guys met some of the more popular bands that are out there where they'll be like, "Hey, yeah, we'll take you with us"? Does it still happen like that?
It depends. I mean, yes and no.
We've met some of their teams. Like,
Exactly.
See, is that what it is? It's like, is that what it is? It's just a whole bunch of like, there's always people in front of them that you have to really.
It's agents, it's manager. I mean, once you get to a certain level, most of the time it's agents and it's managers.
So, do you find that nobody really makes decisions in the music business? They're just basically. I mean, they
maybe
basically.
they do. We just don't have any power right now.
I mean, but what do you see as far as how you've been? I mean, you guys have been into this thing a little farther than a lot of people get into this thing. You've seen some things that you've had some things happen on a more of a national level, international. I mean, really, right? You're
Yeah,
talking Disney.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that movie did a lot kind of overseas.
What's the name of the movie again?
High Strung Free Dance?
It was like a sequel to High
yeah.
Strung 1, or is it
Yeah.
the sequel to Free Dance?
And now I got to think. Sequel to High Strung.
I got you. Okay. And how did they pick you guys? How did that all happen? How did they find out about this song?
So, that the YouTube video that I put up, we submitted it to like there was an ad in my Facebook feed that was like, oh, a free songwriting contest. Like you can just submit your video, and then it might get in a movie.
Really?
Literally.
That's how you did
It was
this?
so
Yes.
weird. Yeah.
So it was totally like just this like free little thing that I did when I was sad. And then like a month later, they were in my inbox, and I thought it was like a scam or something or a joke. It was like, hi, I'm Michael Damian, this movie director, and da-da-da. And then like I
Shout out
called
to Michael,
the number.
by the way. If
Yeah,
you
he's
hear.
awesome, and he is not a scam. He's real.
Yeah.
And so
God for
yeah,
that.
like I ended up calling like the receptionist at the studio, and like it was all legit. And then in the movie happened. So that's
Wow. So
Yeah.
that was like winning the lottery at that point for you.
Yes.
It felt like that. It probably like I can't believe this is all happening.
Yes,
It didn't feel
and
like that until we were on the beach and he was like talking to you
once
on the
we got
phone.
there, because we're very cynical people, you know what I mean? So we're like, well, how real is this? I guess we'll go out to LA. I guess we'll.
This
go
is
to the
never going to be
studio.
real until it's real.
Yeah,
It was
like I guess
real
we'll talk
after
to
a
them.
certain phone call.
I got
Yeah,
you.
and so then like when we actually got into the studio and those musicians came in from Jagged Little Pill and all of that, like they were like, oh, this is real, And then we ended up writing more songs for that movie. Like he had us, write songs for specific scenes, and then he used some of our other catalog in other scenes and stuff. So we got like really quite involved with them, which was awesome to have like multiple songs on their soundtrack and stuff. So thank you,
yes.
Michael and Janine. You guys are rad.
That's awesome. So let me just, if the people want to get, your music and stuff like that, obviously they can stream it.
Yep.
Yes.
It's on all the platforms.
Yes.
We're everywhere.
And do you have it all like on Amazon also? Can people actually purchase it also? Do you
Yes.
have it up for purchase also? Let's see. And anywhere. Basically anything.
Amazon,
Places.
iTunes,
Yeah.
Spotify. Obviously, we have Facebook, we have Instagram.
You guys use in YouTube basically for all your videos. And you guys do your own videos also? Or do you guys, did you guys
Well,
have somebody
we
help
have.
shoot that?
Liar was the film crew from the movie.
Okay.
And then like movie scenes, but everything else we've done very DIY.
DIY.
What
I
is
was wrong too.
DIY.
DIY was like that.
Whatever.
But I thought this was no, really. I mean, you guys are doing that also. So did you guys have to do the same thing? YouTube, bunch of videos to figure out how to do video editing and all that kind of stuff also?
Yeah. I mean, for all that's for the technical parts.
Have you picked up more on the video editing stuff so she can keep writing, or is she like part of that also creative
No, man,
process?
she's big time.
You're there
part of the
too with
video
that.
editing. Oh yeah.
The visual also, it's important. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge right now.
She has a lot of control. Let's just say that.
I just like I'm already the one that knows how to use the Mac. You know what I mean? So I just keep going with it.
Oh, you guys use a Mac?
Yeah.
So, Tragedy of Physics is the EP,
Yep.
Yes.
and they can get that on anywhere, any place. You can watch all your videos. You guys got some live stuff up there also. That's what I saw. I was
Yes.
just talking about
We're
what
gonna
I
have
seen.
more really soon. We're in the middle of editing it now.
And it's pretty cool what you guys do. I think it is, at least.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Real quick, do you all the music that's on the tracks? That's all you,
Yes.
except for whatever.
Except for the drums.
and that's all just done electronically. Are you
It's-
guys just programming drums, or do you guys have a drummer?
It's about half
Combination.
and half.
Oh,
There's a
Some-
drummer out of Columbus
Yeah.
named Jeff Martin, who's awesome. Who has
Yeah, give
done
him
a
some
lot of the
kudos.
live stuff. Yeah.
yeah. I was just curious because when I was hearing that, I was like, wow, I wonder if he has to do all that too.
So a
But
lot.
then, sorry.
No, go ahead.
The new single, the one that just came out on October 28th, Streamers and Balloons, the drummer on that is Adam Box, who is the drummer for the Brothers Osborne.
Oh, really?
So we tracked that song at his home studio called like the Gilded Palace or something. And he's super cool, and his place was beautiful. And he was another one of those where it's like he hadn't really heard the song, and he just came in and just ripped this drum beat, which was awesome. And then we had the live violin player play on that. And then Skid Mills, who we've been collaborating with a lot on our rock stuff that's coming out, he produced the rest of that track. So,
Cool.
yeah.
All right. So you guys probably have a band together next time you guys play out, or do you guys have any gigs lined up that you guys already, or are you guys kind of like right now not?
We have an unannounced show right now. Did we announce it?
No.
I think we kind of did.
Well, we on a social media post that we have not posted. So
We're
no.
allowed to announce it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're playing in Nashville with a full band on December 7th.
Yep.
Do you know what the venue is?
East Side Bowl, which is like a bowling alley turned into a venue.
Like Mahal's is here.
Yes. Yeah.
It's similar.
Yeah. Type. I'm just thinking that's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a breaking sound show. So they do a lot of cool stuff with merch and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're excited. It's full band.
And merch. Do you guys have merch?
We do.
Sort of.
Do you have you guys? I know you got a website. Do you guys sell it on the website?
We don't sell it on the website yet.
So you got to go to the shows to get the merch.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. That's what they got to do. They should go to the show anyways.
Or DM us on Instagram and we can always
send you something out.
We'll send you something out.
That's nice of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for coming. That's all the time we got.
So
I appreciate you guys coming down here, man. This was great.
It was a lot of fun.
Really
Thanks for having us.
I had a lot of fun too.
Appreciate that.
Hooked like Helen. Keep your eye open for them. I got a feeling that you're going to see them do some big stuff.
Rock and roll. Thank you.
So. Rock and roll.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
I am ZM Delgado, author of the Rust Belt Rock Review at ZachO'Lantern.com, and this is your concert calendar update for our holiday weekend. Starting things off is Thursday, the 22nd, at the Grog Shop. You're going to be able to check out Bikini Islands. In support, they're bringing out the Vums, Simon and the Apparatus, and Ungao. Next, Friday the 23rd, also at the Grog Shop. This time, it's Signal Midwest, with supporting acts Heart and Lung, Low Morale, and Riot. While I've got you here, Cleveland, let me take a moment on behalf of Rust Belt Rock Review to wish you and yours the safest and happiest of holidays. I hope it's a great one. Season's greetings, and rock on, Rust Belt. Until next time.
That'll be fine.